Welcome to the January 2024 Pacer Cadence Webinar. My name is Connor, and I'm going to be your guide today. We're going to get started as we usually do. We have this recording, and we'll also send this out to anybody that couldn't make it today, or if you're, need to jump off early, we'll send this out so that you can review this webinar at a later date. It's just me today. And our agenda, we're going to take a look at some of the new features that we've rolled out in Pacer. This includes Project Waivers, Project Wizard. We'll talk a little bit more about locations and teams. This is sort of like a part 2 to the Pacer Cadence webinar we held Q4 2023. We talked a little bit about single location projects, and I want to talk more about how you can use that for a team instead of a location, which we'll get to later on. And then we'll take a look ahead at some more updates to come. So it's going to be a pretty busy year here at Pacer. We're hoping and really excited to release some new stuff. But most importantly, what I'm excited to talk about today is the facelift that you may have seen on the task page if you've logged in within the past month. So yeah, this is our latest release. We are continuously this year working on updating the user experience. We're not changing the logic on the way that Pacer works, but we just wanted to bring the app more into 2024. Something that we're really excited to release besides the look of this table is the behavior of the drop-downs. So previously, you could click on any column at the top, let's say department, and when the drop-down appears, you would choose a department, and what would happen is that once you've made your selection, the table would automatically act on that selection and update all of the data to reflect that. Well, we've made a change, an improvement now, where if you click the drop-down for department, you can make several selections, then click anywhere outside of that drop-down, and then the table will react to the selections that you've made. There's also a green check mark you could choose instead if you like to have the satisfaction of clicking on a button to make something go. But it's been a real pleasure to be able to make several selections before the table reacts to updating the data that you've selected. So we're really excited about the Project Wizard too, which we'll talk about today. And then we've made some bug fixes, and we've been making these bug fixes, but we haven't really called any attention to them. So in the latest release, we've updated quite a few things, used some icon changes and whatnot. Some things that you probably wouldn't notice throughout the performance and use of the app, but we've been working hard behind the scenes to clean everything up to get ready for this step forward. So we'll get started in talking about Project Waivers, and then as usual, we'll go into the application and take a look at this together. So Waivers. It's a new workflow. It's something new to the application that you haven't seen before. And at the beginning, this won't be available to everyone. This will be a specific feature that whoever is your account holder for Pacer at your corporation or company, they can reach out to myself and have this feature turned on. So when you're creating a project, as the project manager or implementation manager, you can decide whether this project should have the waiver option or not. When you create the project, you write in the name, the abbreviation, you choose your implementation manager, and on the screen here, this screenshot, you can see towards the bottom, we have the option to allow location to request project waiver. Right now it's off, so it wouldn't be active, but you can toggle that on. And when you distribute or push this project out to all of your locations, they would then have the option to use the waiver. How we've displayed that on the user end, anyone can click on this. So you would navigate to the dashboard for your location. So here we're at Kenilworth Road Inn. We can see our projects on our dashboard screen. We're doing a new hotel opening. And right here in our View Project Resources hyperlink, we can open up this drawer, which has always existed, that you're familiar with. We've just added this extra piece in here for Project Waiver. So we'll go over some use cases, but basically if this project pertains to opening or closing the pool at my location and I don't have a pool, I might opt in to request a waiver. I don't have a pool, so I don't need this project necessarily. So I could request it. Anyone can. I don't have to be a project coach or a certain job title. But rest assured, you will know who is requesting this waiver. And if you do click this button, you will get an email letting you know that your waiver request has been processed, not approved or denied yet. You're basically asking for permission. Anyone who's an admin or owner or moderator that has access to this project will be able to approve or deny. And what that looks like for all of you on the phone looks like this. So you would see this section by navigating to admin at the top of the page and clicking on projects, multi-team projects, and clicking on one of your projects. Here's the dashboard where you can see what locations have this, are in scope, what baselines you're using, and who you've pushed the project to. You can see what baselines you have. You can see any files that have been uploaded. And when you get to the bottom, you'll now see this project waivers table. So we can see here that the Houston downtown has requested the waiver. We've denied it. It was denied on this date, this long ago. Who requested it? It was through my account, and my account's labeled Pacer Support. So here you would see like the name. So perhaps the general manager requested the waiver. It would say the general manager's name. So you can approve or deny right here. And we'll go ahead and jump into the application and take a look and see what that looks like. All right. So here we are at a project, and I'll go ahead to the dashboard, and I'm at my Houston downtown location, and I'm going to click on View Project Resources. All right, so we'll jump into the application now, and we'll take a look at what waivers look like in real life. So I'm logged in here, and I'm at the location for College Park, and I have a project here for installing game rooms. Now, I'm a business hotel. I don't have game rooms, not going to put them in. So I'm going to request a waiver. So I'll click on View Project Resources, and I see here the project waiver, so I'm going to request that waiver. It's going to let me know that my request has been submitted, and I'll sit back and wait. From the admin side, I can actually navigate over to that project, and I can scroll down and see my project waivers here at College Park. It's pending. I'm going to go ahead and approve that. Fairly simple. Great. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next item here. We have our project wizard. So the wizard is something you'll see active today on your screen. It's in beta. So you could click it. It would start a new project. It would actually appear in your list of multi-location projects, but it may not get you all the way to the end. We are aware that it's not fully working. We put it in beta just so that you can take a peek at it. If you wanted to test it out, you're more than welcome to. So a wizard is technically defined as a user interface that leads a user through a sequence of small steps to configure a project. So the wizard, if you look at the screen here, we have new project and we have these steps. We have 4 steps. Instead of just going to the baseline and making a baseline and going to a project and creating a project and then getting to another screen to sort of bring everything together, we have this wizard that walks you through the steps and holds your hand to create this project to its full fruition. And what's great now is you can stop at any time and just save it as a draft and come back to it. This is also really helpful if you find that, you're an admin today, but maybe the admin rights have been passed on to you from a previous person, or, you're in the role now and you're trying to bring in more admins with you on your team, or perhaps you're, going to be in this role for a bit and pass the baton on to someone else. It makes this a lot easier to not have to retrain everyone on all of the small details on how to create projects. Now it's a very user-friendly interface that if someone else joins the team tomorrow, they'd be able to be walked through the process of creating a project. And of course, putting it in this linear path here really helps you understand what's next, what you've done, and sort of where you're at to crossing the finish line. The next step is going to be, well, the first step here, once you initiate the project wizard, you're going to, of course, fill out the name, the description, and who's the project owner. Simple. Again, we're not changing the logic. It's still the same idea. It's just a better experience. The next thing you'll do is choose which locations should be doing this project, just as you would if you were doing it the old way and you were putting locations in scope. It's the same idea here. You can move the locations from the box on the left to the box and to the right. You can see here that we have search by name field. We also have filters that you can apply to shorten this list if you have a lot of locations. And then you'll get to step 3, which is adding and reviewing tasks. You have the option to copy from an existing project. So you could copy tasks from a project that exists already. You can create a new baseline, which would be your upload, or adding manually one task at a time. And the other option you have is linking to an existing project's task. So you can tie your new project to the tasks in another project, and we'll keep both projects synced together. And then the last step would be to publish it. So let's go ahead and try that together. I'll log us into production. This is just my test account. It's fake, all made up. So I'm here at my dashboard, my company overview, sorry. And I'm going to click on New Multi-Team Project. Here, again, we have step 1. This project is going to be, let's see, we're going to upgrade pool lounge chairs at all of our resort locations, US. This is a CapEx project for resorts. And we'll do that. And I'll go ahead and on to the next step. So I'm going to look for locations that are probably going to be a resort. So I can click here. I can choose an area. Let's say it's all managed. And maybe my region's going to be North America. And I'll click on apply. And let's see. So Napa, they'll probably have a pool. And Tampa. So that's great. So let's add them together. And we'll move on to the next step. It's pretty simple. Everything, we're not having to jump between different windows and, finishing here and jumping somewhere else. And, we're already on step 3. This has been pretty fast already. I know this is a short and simple project. But I'll go ahead and maybe there's an existing project. Maybe we've done this before. I'll choose something like ad hoc, something random. Yep. We're going to just copy what we've done at this project for ad hoc, and we're going to apply it to Napa and Tampa. And I'm ready to publish this. Our order of Chase Lounge chairs was bought at wholesale, and so I need them to both work on this now. So I chose the selection box at the top to select all locations in my list. I'm going to publish. We're, of course, going to choose our baseline for upgrading the pool lounge chairs, and we're going to choose the date it should be done. I'll head over to, we want this to be done before the U.S. holiday, Memorial Day, so let's give ourselves some leeway. So there we go. And we'll go ahead and publish. There we go. It's that simple. We've already started our project, named it, figured out who is going to be here, who's going to be doing it, what they're going to be doing, and when it's supposed to be done by. And this will still appear in admin projects. You'll still see our Chase Lounge, upgrade pool lounge chairs here still. And this is the project manager dashboard, so we can still see who's in scope, what the baseline is, and who we've pushed it to. Very familiar screen. I don't have waivers turned on, so we don't see that section down here. But yeah, so it's a familiar looking dashboard, but the way we got here has just been new and improved. Great. All right, we'll jump back to our PowerPoint. And let's talk about single location projects. Okay. So we discussed on our last Cadence webinar, this is a screenshot from that last conversation that we've had. So we've created one location. We have San Antonio Riverfront. And actually, we have a project that just applies to San Antonio Riverfront. So we clicked on this Add Project button at the very bottom of the project section. And we said, specific to San Antonio, this is in Texas. Maybe there's something specifically related to Texas. Maybe there's a storm coming currently. So we've created a quick project for getting prepared for the storm. It includes tasks for engineering, food and beverage, moving. Maybe our restaurant is all glass, so we want to move our restaurant operations into the ballroom. We have tasks there, tasks for front office, where we're relocating the check-in desk to be in the ballroom. It's a hurricane-safe shelter. A lot of tasks we have, but it's only applying to this location just this one time. So we can create this sort of one-time location project. And, someone like the general manager could be in charge of creating this and setting this up. We also talked about other use case scenarios like property improvement plans, training exercises, anything like single team initiatives. So I want to talk about this at a level where it's not just a property thing. You can also create a location in Pacer that's actually just a team. So in this example, I've created a team called Revenue. In this example, Revenue is our corporate revenue department. So we've called it Revenue, given an abbreviation. At the bottom of the screenshot, you might notice that I still have to fill in brand, area, country, type, management company, region, continent, all that. What I've done, since I want to start adding teams as locations in my subscription, I want to create a team for revenue, a team for the corporate food and beverage, a team for maybe just general managers only. You could create a team for anything. We'll talk more about use cases, but I need to still fill out my brand and area items. So I went into my configurations and I've added like Pacer headquarters. That's our brand. That lets me know that it's not a physical place. It's a team. So it belongs at headquarters. This is a corporate team. The area headquarters. Management company. This is just a home office. It's not a physical place. It's a group of people will have access to this location where they'll see tasks that they can act on. Besides a corporate department, maybe all of the people that are working on a project, like I'm a project manager for the East region, maybe I have a project manager for the West region, we can make a location that's a team just for us that we all have access to, where we can check in to say, hey, I have this many hotels has done these tasks, here's where I'm at. We can see tasks, we can write comments, we can interact with each other. Or, today we have a lot of hybrid work, we can have virtual teams. We may not be in the office together, but we always have a running list of things to do as a team because we all belong to one location. And then my favorite part is just creating like ad hoc to-do lists. So we might have had something come up within our organization. Let's say we need to, we found a defect in our tables that we use in all of our meeting rooms, and we need to order new ones, train the team on how to use the new ones, safely dispose of the old ones. There could be a very quick list of things that we need to put together, and we can just keep that like a running list. If I didn't think of something, someone else on my team can add another task to that list, which makes it really enjoyable. This is what it looks like on the dashboard. So this is my revenue team, and here's our project. Like, we're working on an initiative for March. But I think this is a really great opportunity to just jump in the application and show you what this looks like. So I will head over to my dashboard, and I'm going to change this to my revenue team that I belong to. And here's that incentive we're working on. But, let's talk more about that. We have something specific to revenue. Let's say we have a new rate code that's going to be going in for all. We just partnered with, let's say we've never used AAA rate codes before, but we're taking them on as a partner, and we're going to be implementing the AAA rate into all of our hotels. So there's a few steps that we need to do at the corporate level to make sure that all of our property level locations are prepared. So I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to call this AAA rate integration. Give it an abbreviation. So I don't have a baseline yet to push because I don't really know what my tasks are yet. So I'm going to leave that blank. As you can see, it's optional. Someone's in charge of this, and we want to get this done by the end of this first quarter. So I'll mark the last day of Q1, and I'm going to go ahead and save this, and automatically it's going to ask me to create my first task. So for now, I'm just going to add one thing here. So current date, it's the 6th. We'll move this over to, in a week's time, we need to get something rolled out here. So our first task, the first thing we need to do is contact our property management system contract to add an additional rate code. This isn't something that the PMS company probably has to do, but we're just making that up. So we need to add this rate code, ensure it's labeled as AAA, and we're going to determine what these rates are. So we'll talk about this another time. Maybe I need to make another task for that. We need to have a meeting to figure this out. So I'll take this task here, but I can automatically assign it to somebody else. We'll just assign it to Christopher. Of course, this is part of the revenue department. And this is, our community. We'll just call this corporate. And this is our project, which we've named it. And I have more options here. I can still add a link, just like I normally would be able to, or a contact. And of course, this task isn't started yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and save that. So we have our project here. So we're working on the AAA rate integration at our corporate level revenue team. I can click on this, and it will open up all the tasks that I have related to this. So far, I've only got one item here, but of course, there's more to do. So I can start adding more tasks. And what's great about this is that I started this project at this team level, but other people on my team can also add tasks. So we push this project, and we let everyone know when we created this, when we kept that toggle on that said send push down notification for new project creation. So anybody that has access to this revenue team would have gotten a notification that a new project has appeared on the dashboard. They would open it up right now and see this one task. And they'll say, oh yeah, this is great. I know what I need to do or what needs to get done, and they can add their own task. By the end of this month, we need to make sure that we've updated our online booking system to show AAA rate as an option. we'll need to contact corporate IT for this. And so, John's going to help us out with that. This is part of the information technology sector. So I've added that here. That's just what department it relates to, but it's still a task that we need to take ownership and responsibility of. And of course, this is part of the AAA rate integration project. And, our contact info, I know who we need to contact at corporate IT. It's, Mike Smith, and it's mike.smith@getpacer.com. Great. So that's who we need to contact to get that done. And that's a task that needs to happen. So that's great. So we're good there. And I'll save that. Perfect. That's great. And anyone on my team can start adding more tasks here, and we can get something going. And, I might say, I might even create another task that says add any necessary tasks to this project by, 2:15. And I can assign that to somebody who should be in charge of this and all that. So yeah, it's a great way to keep an ongoing running list. It's a great way for people who are maybe your group of area leaders could belong to this. There's a lot of different and unique ways, but I find that since I talk to a lot of our clients are realizing that they don't have to have a physical location to create a location, essentially. So I created a location, but it's really just a team, and I just am going to give people access to this revenue department. So it's something you might want to consider. And of course, if you need help setting that up, or if you have any ideas that you want to talk through, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to work with you and help you get this set up and help you understand and thinking about this in a different way than you might be used to. But it's a pretty exciting way to use Pacer, and I'm not really sure that people understand that it can be done. So yeah, I'd be happy to work with you on that. Great. So we've got some projects coming up ahead that we're pretty excited to share with you. One huge item here is going to be language translation. So we're working on this, and it even includes users being able to rate the translation, whether it's good or bad. We have My Workspace, which is going to help bring in all of the tasks that you're responsible into one view, and we call this a Kanban view. If you're not familiar with it, we're going to show you a screenshot shortly. And then we have our company overview page. If you're using projects in your subscription, when you open up your company overview page, you might just want to see, want to change your filter to just show a project. We've added that option into your company overview page. And remember, any filters that you set on that page, they stay there and they're remembered for the next time that you log in. So if you're focused on one project right now, you can just keep that as your default filter. And when you log in, you're just worried about that. Our task table, it already got that facelift upgrade. And with the drop-down filters, it's incredible. But we've also are going to be updating some of the icons and just the way that the bulk actions menu behaves. It will look the same. It's just sort of in a new spot. And then historical projects. So you'll be able to go to any location or team's dashboard and be able to click a button to see what projects they've completed. This is great for if a general manager is stepping in to a new location and they're getting settled and they just want to see, like, hey, what's been done at this location before I've arrived. So let's take a look at language translation first. So here we are at the task page. We have a task drawer open. We have a task here that says just create test task. And what's going to happen is the application is going to figure out what is the default language in this user's browser. So this is determined that, I think we have an example here that's Spanish. So they'll be able to click this button here to translate it. It will add a new line of text that is the task name and additional info in its translated language. And then they'll be able to click these stars to rate the translation. And we're pretty excited about this. So, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. And we'll go on to my workspace. So in the top right corner, this is like another feature that individuals can have turned on by subscription. So if you're interested in having my workspace, whoever is in charge of Pacer at your company should reach out. And you'll be able to see this page. And this is what a Kanban is. So all of these little cards are tasks. It's letting us know what the task name is, what project it belongs to, and what location, because remember, people can have access to more than one location. So it's just reminding you that this task is related to this location. It tells you the start date, the target date, and time remaining. And you can actually click these tiles and drag and drop them into different statuses. That's what each of these swim lanes are. So we have not started, in progress, complete. So yeah. And then we've got our company overview page. So we talked about using the filters drawer to organize all of the items on this page by project. So I only want to see a specific project. You used to click baselines and say, hey, look, like I want to see all of my company overview page, whoever has this baseline. Now it'll be, I only want to see my whole company overview page based on this project. And then we've got our task page. So we talked about the new look. So we've got that new look here. And then across the top, we've got our additional like header bar, I guess we'll call it here. So we've got a few icons. You'll be able to see these icons and make any actions. It might be filters, something like that. And then on the left, and bulk assign, assign in bulk all of your tasks, like, assign all general manager tasks to this person. And then on the left-hand side, we have more bulk actions, and you can see that the check boxes or the tick boxes are stagnant on the page. So you can check boxes, tick these boxes, or select all, and then you would choose your bulk actions. So maybe you want to mark all to a new status all at once, or reassign all of the tasks that I've checked off to a new person. You would select the action after selecting the tasks and then apply that action to the tasks that you've ticked the boxes for. So just a different layout. Again, logic is the same, just looks a little different. And then we've got our historical projects. So this might look familiar as the dashboard page. We're looking at the location Frankfurt Airport. Here is our project. It's install game rooms, but if you look underneath here, we actually have this export historical projects. So clicking here is going to give you an Excel sheet of projects that have been done before. It would say the name, when it was completed, and a whole bunch of additional info there to keep you informed. All right. Well, we're open for Q&A, so if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I'll be happy to respond. If you're interested in learning more about anything specific, or you saw something today that you want in your subscription, feel free to have your account holder reach out, and I'll be happy to talk you through anything we can do to get you going here. I'll stick around. Of course, the chat will be open, but thank you so much for participating today. I hope you have a great rest of the week.